I wanted to do this for a little while now. Finally found the time. Today after work, as soon as I go home, chilled out a little bit and then got to work. Rearranged the gym. I've been thinking about this for a little while because I feel like it wasn't a good setup. I was in my way. Things were just... It was time for a change. And messed around with it for about, 90 minutes. Move things this way, that way. Unfortunately, when you're reorganizing a gym, everything's heavy. A lot of weight to freaking move around. And so the actual weight stack I had to move several times. Before I even got to the training, I was freaking exhausted, lower back pump and all. I'm very happy with the new setup, except the bench press. The bench is going to be an annoying thing. I kind of forgot how bad the flooring was in this place. It's all wonky. Every square of concrete is doing its own thing. And this new bench, the Rogue bench that I bought, has a flat contact with the floor. So you basically need like a studio, perfect freaking cement, perfect flooring in order for not to be unhappy. No matter how I spin it around, I was always on an angle. The bench press that I had last time was on a one complete slab of concrete, but that concrete was slanted. So the bench itself wasn't rocking back and forth, but I always felt like the left chest or the left arm was a little lower than the other. So I was kind of like pushing in an angle, very slight angle, but noticeable. I set all this thing up. I was happy. I was kind of imagining how it was going to work out with this setup. I liked it. All that good stuff. Change is always good, as it is. And then I kind of put the bench in the middle of the rack, and I was like, oh no, that middle line that's going down the center of the garage is the worst one. So you never kind of want to avoid. I remember when I first moved in here, I was kind of theorizing that my hip pain came from this. The fact that when I stand 1 foot on one square and another foot on the other square of concrete, that there was like unbalanced, one hip's higher than the other. And so that's kind of where the idea was, born out of, to like always face a different direction, like mix it up a little bit. So over time, it kind of evens out. I thought about everything when it comes to hip pain, even that. So then eventually I started getting the little blocks that I have, wooden blocks that I do for use for block pulls. I kind of worked out a way to make the bench less rocky by, sticking those blocks underneath the bench. Anyway, spent a freaking bunch of time trying to organize that. So it's not ideal. I'm going to be high on the bench, so the feet are going to be dangling down a little bit, but it is what it is. It's a home gym. It's not going to be perfect. So I kind of wanted to do this before starting my next little challenge, and that was the wide stance squats. Been talking about it, been thinking about it, and today I wanted to do it. So this is all coming from the success I've had with the bench press. I had elbow pain. I worked it all out, but then somehow I started doing wide bench press, and I found that all of my rehab routines that I was doing to survive meaningful bench press volumes was all alleviated, all rolled into one simple movement, and that was simply widening my grip on the bench press. So, I have my index fingers on rings, and I've never looked back. My body feels amazing in the upper body. Amazing. So I've kind of been thinking, eventually he's going to catch up to me. He hasn't caught up to me. It's been months. So based upon that experience, I decided to really kind of do the same thing with the squats. If it works for the bench press, it might freaking work for the squats. So this time around, I'm going to be smart about it, just like I was with the bench press. I've got no ego with the bench press at all. So I started off with 60 kilos for 5 sets of 5. And the moment I hit 5 sets of 5, I went up to 80 kilos, and then 90 kilos, then 100 kilos. Eventually, I slowed down. It took me a little while to get 100 kilos for 5 sets of 5 with a wide bench press. But every workout I was putting in a rep or a set or something like that more than last time. And so when I get to 5 sets of 5, move on to the next weight. And so that's what I plan to do with the squat as well. I'm going to leave my ego to the side, and I'm going to start battling 2 plates. 2 plates is very heavy for me. It feels so light on my back. But when I take the wide stance, I literally feel like my adductors are going to pull off. My groin's going to just pop out. Everything's going to tear in the groin area. It feels awfully strange to me. It feels awfully bad to me. it just feels like it is a weakness. So I think, just like with the bench press, I think it's a good idea to strengthen this. This is a clear weakness. It's unacceptable. Everything I've heard from Louis Simmons, Dave Tate, Matt Wenning, all these boys, they've never stopped talking about the value of doing wide stance squats and how it carries over to the narrow. My God, it might actually cure my hip pain as well. Not that I have hip pain. I don't have hip pain at the moment. I want to be clear about that. I have a routine. I have all these exercises that I do to make the hip pain stay away. I'll do all these things. But I also had all these different ideas about the bench press and my elbow pain. And I had everything worked out, but for like an X amount of volume on the bench press, I would need to do heaps and heaps and heaps of this prehab stuff for the wrists and the elbows. And then I started doing wide bench press, and then I didn't have to do any of that because the wide bench press was doing the rehab for me. So I'm kind of hoping the wide stance squats are going to do the same thing. So I won't have to spend so many hours per week in doing this rehab stuff. Maybe the wide stance squats are going to do everything for me. I'll start with 100. I did today. I even thought about doing 60, but I'm stronger than that. I was able to do 100 kilos for 5 sets of 5. Next session will be 110. And I'll keep going. Keep trying to condition my body to take that stance, that tissue to strengthen out a little bit, and go from there. I am going to try and do this every other day. The wide stance squats, I don't know how that's going to go. Maybe it's going to be too much. Let's see how it goes. But as I'm sitting here in the car, probably moving the weights around had something to do with it. But my lower back is pumped, like absolutely pumped from doing this wide stance squats. And I don't know why that is. It might be the weights moving around in the gym, but also I've felt this with doing sumo stance squats. I don't know what it is about going wide. My lower back just gets exposed. I suspect it's something to do with my pelvic tilt. It gets really exposed in the wide, and then my lower back starts screaming. So let's see how it goes. I'm going to deal with this freaking crap for a while now. Go back to 100 kilos and just suck it up and just battle freaking 100 kilos. I need to build this wide stance up, and I think it's time now. And I've got the positive experience of the bench press for the last few months. My body feels amazing up in my upper body thanks to the wide bench. Let's do the wide squats. Maybe this is a solution. Appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.